Hey guys, it's John from OGS again, back with another episode. Last episode we started getting things primed, these guards. I've got to spray some body deadener, and I'm thinking I'm going to do that tonight. So what I'm going to do is get the car into the booth, paint these up, and then we're going to get some body deadener just on the inside there. Let's get it done. She is. She looks like she's been in a car accident or something. Like the headlights. It's like what's that show? Body, I think it is, where it's got the I don't even know, but like the headlights are drooping down. It's like, ooh, oh, I'm so sad. John needs to respray me, but he's taken a million years. Hey, hey, hey! Ah! Woo! All right, Monday night. I've applied the body deadener, which I'll show you. That's what it looks like all over there, and on the other side as well. And what I've done is I didn't want to apply body deadener to these parts here. So what I've done is I didn't actually spray them, and I just mixed up a little bit of black, and I've just sort of touched that up there and along here. I mean, I know that's meant to be the body color. If that upsets me, you know, maybe I can then rub that back and then go the body color. But just because I was right here, right now sort of thing, I've done these pieces over here and over here just to give it a bit of a refresh, and underneath as well, a little bit here and there sort of thing. Just because like I'm here with the spray gun, just for sake of completeness, I just wanted to just sort of finish that up. If it bothers me, I can definitely just rub that back and spray some color in there. If I open the door and then sort of see that black and I don't like it, I can easily change that. But while I'm here with the spray gun, you know, my real thing is that I wanted to spray these because they were looking pretty crappy. And then I was like, I'm ignoring about this. So I'd actually like marked it out, you know, so like I taped it off. So I was going to spray that the body color, but I thought, we'll see how we go sort of thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the door jambs, the inside of the boot lid, inside the lips around here. So I'm wondering to myself whether I can take this boot lid off myself or whether I need a helping hand. But yeah, that's what I want to do. It's reasonably straight. There's just one here that I'm a little bit concerned about, which I need a panel beat. But I need to get the inside of it all clean. Again, like I had to move this car outside. The electricians, as I mentioned, were doing some work, converting things to 3-phase. So it actually rained a little bit. So you can see I'm not happy about it, but I've just got to clean it again. You know, that's just dirt from the rain. So prime that. I've got to do the rest of this. Got to whizzy all of this, and the doors, and the pillars, and the cowl. So still plenty of work to do, to be honest. Right, let's see whether we can get this boot lid off myself. And of course, you can't forget about this bad boy. That's come up pretty good. That's not likely to rust. Same dealio with that. I love that stuff, you know, you just put it down and away you go. Woo. Gosh, she's looking so sad. I've taken the bonnet off. See the mighty Crossflow EU5, which is actually fairly rare for this car. I've also taken the boot lid off. And that's what the boot looks like. There's a few holes that I need to fix up because of the LPG system, and it also had a tow bar on there. But what I've done is I've got it on panel stands just outside here, and I've been working on the boot lid. So what I've been doing is I've been scuffing it up just with some scotchy, something like that. So I've got it looking dull, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray non-sanding primer, and then I'm going to spray colour. So it's a bit of a cheat. Crash repair places use it all the time for repairs. But what I'm doing is I've scuffed everything. I've got some 120 grit sandpaper, and anything like that, if there's an edge to it, it's actually going to show through the paint. So I'm just knocking off all the edges. So stuff like that, I could feel it. Anything you can feel is going to show. And along this lip here, I want to get that nice and smooth. There's a few dents over here, which I'm going to fill. Overall, it's in pretty good condition. There's always a little bit of rust, but I want to get some sandpaper around there because that would show through the paint. So if I can knock off those little bits of rust, it's going to look a lot better. You can spend your whole life blowing it down and vacuuming it, but if you took off the skin and got it super clean, that would really be the only way that you could get every little morsel of rust and dirt and everything like that. I'm pretty happy with it. I've got some wax and grease remover. So we're just going to wipe it down, like so. I've got my gloves on, like that, and after that you're not going to touch it. I think I've done a reasonable job of scuffing it up, but hey, we'll see. You know, I probably spent about 4 hours yesterday, scuffing it up, you know, trying to get everything sort of clean. I mean, we'll see. I spent a bit more time on the bonnet than the boot lid. You'll see that I've still got the original, what do you call it? I didn't even know what you call all that sort of stuff there. Sealer or caulking. Caulking would probably be the better word. I actually removed that from the bonnet over there, but I kept it on the boot lid. I mean, you know. And I've still got this. It's got the original lock. I'm just going to mask on the inside and then put it around there, and it should be right. I mean, the more you undo, the more you've got to put back. Don't forget that. And if it's going to be a daily driver, if you pull it apart in a million pieces, chances are you won't put it back to how it actually was. And then you sell it as an unfinished project, looking all sad, 20 cents in the dollar of what you paid. But probably you'd still get a little bit more for your money in today's market. Alright, so here's the high production non-sanding primer. I've got a little bit left over, so I just want to see whether I can utilise the rest of this. So let's have a bit of a look and see how much we've got. I'm looking at my tool, here it is. You'll have to excuse the mess. I mean, usually I lay down a piece of paper over the table, but I just don't feel like doing that right now. Let's have a bit of a look. Now, I might have just enough. We'll see how we go with that. I mean, I only got to do a bonnet and a boot lid, I guess. Alright, so the mixture says using the MS hardener, we've got a little bit left there, so 3 to 1. So what you do is you fill it to A, or wherever you want it, anything that's A, and then you would put your hardener B, and those little lines there are 10%. So, you know, if you put a little bit of thinner in from there to there, that's 10%, so on and so forth, up to 30%. Just follow the MSDS, which is a safety data sheet, and they'll have all of the instructions. By law, they need to have that, because it also tells you what type of respirator you need to wear, flush off times, and all that kind of stuff like that. So I've got a little bit left here, so let's see whether we can utilize the rest of that. So I'm going to pour that 3 to 1, looking at the ratio, and see how far I get. I'm just going to pour all of it in, and it's not going to quite get to that second line. So we'll just keep that going there. And this might not be enough, but it might be enough to do a bit of it, but I need to get rid of the rest of this. Right, so I'm going to put in some hardener. It's just above, or nearly to that B line there. So I think that if I just go to that second line of the 10%, then that should be enough. There we go, that's more than enough actually. And I like putting a little bit of thinner in there, it just helps it flow just a little bit nicer. Okay. Alright. I always say that like the type of consistency that I like is like a Dare iced coffee for all of you guys that like to drink sugary drinks. So if you go like that, something like that, it's going to flow on nice, but we'll see. colour. Get some colour on and some clear coat. Okay, so I've got this little thing that says please use first. Now the ratio is 1:1. So 500 mils will make a litre of colour that you spray. So I think, judging by what we had here, I think that if we use 250 mil, put the thinner in, which will make 500 mil, might be enough. 2-3 coats. I mean, it's the underside of the cast. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So I've got to mix this bad boy up. So let's open her up and have a bit of a look. Get in close, because I'm excited about this. This is actually the colour that we're going to spray. Ooh, check that out. Okay, so let's mix this bad boy out. Suss that out. Okay, let's get what we need. So, I'll get a fresh cup. I should really get a smaller one, but I don't have any. So we're gonna go just to 250 mil, add thinner, which will equate to 500 mil. And I think that should be adequate. And my precious paint is starting to spill on the table, but what do you expect? Do you expect any less from me? I'll give it that. Okay, cool. So, let's go 250. I reckon that's probably too much, but it doesn't matter. Should be right. Maybe 150. I reckon 150. That might be enough. I can always mix up some more. Yeah, so 150, and that's going to get me there. I'll go 200. You talked me into it. There we go. Okay. And all you put is thinner. So where are we at? 200. Let's go to 400. There we go. Grab that. One straight in here. And let's mix it up. Have a look at that. Ooh. Oh, yes. All right, let's spray this bad boy. Mist coat or drop coat, depending on who you are and what kind of lingo you like to use. You'll see that I like to dance around. This is the funnest part of painting a car, well obviously. it's easily the best part when you're finally here after all the prep work. My prep work isn't that great, and the reason is because I'm a very impatient person. And my wife's nodding her head as she films this. There's plenty of guys that spend hundreds of hours on cars and they do a tip-top job. Really, hats off to you boys. But for what it is and what it's going to be, I'm having fun, and that's what it's all about. So wait 10 minutes, I'll do the first full coat, then I'll do a second coat. Don't look too closely, there's shit in the paint, but when it's got the clear coat on there, it'll look a little bit shinier, and I'll be happy. the first full coat. I noticed when I was spraying that it was sort of like a little bit choppy. It wasn't like atomizing properly and laying down how I normally like it. So I think that I was actually spraying with my settings too low, and I just double checked the MSDS, which is part of it's actually on the tin. It says 3 to 4 bar between 1.3 tip to 1.5 tip. I'm spraying 1.4, so I've got to increase the pressure. So let's go in and have a little bit of a look. So when it was doing that, you know, I sort of had that tendency, and I know a lot of guys do, to want to spray a bit heavier, but I try my best not to do that, because that's when you're going to start getting runs. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that through the camera, but it's a little bit like some bits are darker than the others. Maybe you can see it, maybe not. It's actually, as it's flashed off, it looks a little bit better. So maybe that's just the paint and like it's settling. But this one over here, I can see it, that it looks like it's sort of different colors. So the second full coat, I'm going to go at a higher, and hopefully it will rectify that. Same deal with this one here. I love the color, and yeah, let's let it flash off for about 10 minutes, and then I'll come in for the second full coat, and that should probably do it for the inside, you know, the boot lid and the inside and the bottom. Wait and see. Okay, so I've turned up the PSI, and I've done my second coat sort of thing. I'm nearly out of battery and also memory as well, so we'll keep this brief. But I've definitely got enough material on there, so I'm going to let it flash off properly for about 10-15 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes. One time I got caught, and like, you know, a lot of guys, impatient, I went to go spray clear coat, and I hadn't left it enough time, and you could sort of see the color melting in with the clear. It became a big mess. So look, I've definitely got enough paint on there now. It's a matter of just like making sure that it just splashes off and dries and be ready for clear coat. So let's wait a good 15, maybe even 20 minutes before we get some clear coat on there. So it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the spray gun. I'm a little bit disappointed with you know, all the dust that's sort of been, you know, flicked up. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Probably looks really good in the videos. It almost looks like it's got clear coat on it, but that's because I've just sprayed it. Let's get out of here. So first coat, you could see that I got quite frustrated. I saw something in the corner of my eye. It looked like a droplet of clear coat had just sort of fallen from my gun. And it was the case, because it happened again. I got really frustrated. So the what do you even call it? The cup that sits on the gun, it's obviously not a very snug fit. It happens. So what I quickly did was I went outside, I just put a tape around where you sort of attach it to each other, and then it was okay after that. I managed to save it. I can see a dollop of clear coat right in there. So it's starting to look shiny, it's starting to look a little bit better, and yeah, basically we're going to do one more coat and then call it a night. It's starting to look shiny, you know, like this is what it's meant to look like. This is the best part of it, I love it. And the same deal with this thing over here, you know, looks pretty shiny sort of thing. So that's the true colour.